In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. The title of this presentation is The Mercy of Allah God in the Human Respiratory System, and I will concentrate here on the lungs. And we will see, brothers and sisters, why Allah God Almighty is the most merciful, and how is that He created your body based on mercy. So when Allah God Almighty wanted to create the respiratory system in our body, one of the mercy requirements is that gas exchange, meaning the absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide from the body, should be done in a minimum time, i.e. maximum speed. Since if this did not happen, then this would cause pain and weakness in the body. So the mercy requirement when Allah Almighty wanted to create the lungs is that gas exchange should happen very fast in minimum time, such that you would take what you need from oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Now let's see how the knowledge of Allah God Almighty comes to show this mercy requirement and translate this mercy requirement into a created object. So the knowledge of Allah God shows this mercy requirement in the fact that He installed certain mechanisms within the human respiratory system which increase the speed of gas exchange within the lungs. An example of these mechanisms is the fact that Allah God made the surface area of the lungs very large by creating alveoli having a spherical shape. So if we look, brothers and sisters, at the lungs, we see that gas exchange occurs at these spherical objects which are called alveoli. Now we see that Allah Almighty created in the lungs millions and millions of these spherical gas exchange chambers, and the fact that He created them in a spherical geometry, it has maximum surface area. The sphere has maximum surface area. So we see that Allah Almighty maximized the surface area of the lungs. To understand the importance of this, let me give you an example. Suppose you are sitting in your room and you want to let more air in. So what you do, suppose that you open your window half open, you open it completely. Now this means that when you increase the surface area, the gaseous exchange increases. So if you know that the approximate area of the lungs is about 70 square meters, the area of the kind of tennis playground, so you have a huge surface area in the lungs. This means that any kind of oxygen atoms and oxygen that enters the lung is quickly absorbed in the blood, and carbon dioxide is quickly removed from your body. So we see how the mercy of Allah Almighty and His knowledge, we see the knowledge of Allah Almighty, how He makes this mercy requirement into a created object. So I hope now we understand one of the aspects of the mercy of Allah Almighty in the creation of human lungs. Maximum surface area, meaning exchange of gas in minimum time. Otherwise, if there was kind of delay in the gaseous exchange in the lungs, then you would feel fatigue and pain and endless other problems. So I summarize this here. So since the shape of these alveoli is spherical, then the surface area of the inner lining of the lung is greatly increased compared to a surface not containing such projections. This increase in area causes a quick gaseous exchange such that oxygen is quickly absorbed and carbon dioxide is quickly released, and thus every person should thank Allah God Almighty in each breath he or she takes. So we need, brothers and sisters, should thank Allah God Almighty in each breath we take for His mercy and how He is the most merciful. So we saw, brothers and sisters, in this flow diagram one of the aspects of the mercy of Allah Almighty in our body, And in effect, your body is all based on mercy. Allah created your body all based on mercy. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zaidquran@gmail.com. And may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.